guys, I'm Nikki, the Angry Alchemist, and today I want to talk to you guys about something very near and dear to my heart and my experience as a witch. Spirit work. Now, spirit work might conjure up images like this that are a little bit scary and just negative and heavy feeling, right? Well, I want to discuss kind of everything about spirit work. So first we have to ask, what is spirit work? So first things first, what is spirit work, right? That's kind of a broad question, but to me spirit work is any type of communication with the spirits. So I know that doesn't narrow it down too much and it sounds like common sense, but it does raise some of the most important questions about spirit work, in my opinion. What are spirits, right? Well, spirits are anything that was once human or a non-human spirit. There's elementals, there's the fae, angels, demons, all this stuff. But basically it's anything that doesn't exist in the physical plane anymore or never did. You can look at it like when Dustin, if you're into Stranger Things, is explaining the upside down, right? There is our world, physical bodies, chemistry, carbon, those kind of things, right? Then we have different planes. This is where astral travel happens. This is the other realms, right? And some people call them Summerlands, some people call them the astral plane, some people call them the 9 realms. You can get into heathenry, Wicca. Everybody has their different interpretation, right? But they're all on top of each other and they overlap. And where there's an overlap, things cross, right? And as a more sensitive person or someone who chooses to enhance their sensitivity to become a spirit worker, whether you're born that way or whether this is a personal quest for you, thing of growth, whatever it is, it's yours and you can do it, right? And you're existing in that overlap. And you're tapping into seeing and getting messages from those other planes where something might know more, seek to help you out. Why do spirit work? Well, for me, I didn't really have a choice. I'm a medium. I was getting messages, and I wanted to have some influence over when and how that happened and how intense it got. But for some people, they just want to. They feel driven to, maybe they feel called to, maybe they have had things happen in their life where they felt like they needed to. And it's really nobody's business why someone's doing it. You're not like getting an extra gold star if you were born doing it. You're just as effective, just as efficient. And it does cross traditions and cross types of witchcraft. You're going to see ancestor work, you're going to see fae, you're going to see all these different people and all these different cultures that intersect over spirit work. And I think that's a great thing. So mediums and mediums, right? There is a medium who's a person who naturally has the ability to get messages from the deceased, usually specifically deceased humans. I fell into that category. I think I had my first like full channeling when I was 9 or something. Luckily my mother's Wiccan and she helped me through it. Now there's also other ways. You can do pendulum readings. I've seen people channel through tarot, things like that. Quick disclaimer, personally, I don't believe that divination works through contacting spirits. I don't think divination is spirit work. Now, you can have your opinion, I'll have mine, it's cool, but to me there's a difference between divination, tapping into some general fate, some kind of knowledge as things are, and then working with a spirit. One, I feel like you get a lot more from divination because when you do spirit work, you're limited to what that spirit knows. If you're speaking to Ethel, the cook that died of malaria in 1862, she's going to have a pretty limited knowledge base, but maybe she has a message. But if you're speaking to some kind of fae spirit, it's going to know more about a different realm. So that's something to just take into consideration. But you don't actually have to be using your inner ability to be a medium, because that would just limit spirit work to people that were born mediums or that have given themselves through some kind of ritual or invocation the ability. That's kind of lame, right? Nobody likes that. That's really exclusive. So there are other mediums to do spirit work. Medium, right? Two separate things. A medium is something you use to channel through. These are things like pendulums, spirit boards, also called Ouija boards. I've seen it done, like I said, through tarot. Scrying is another good one. meditation, astral travel, lucid dreaming, lots of stuff. If it feels right, it is, right? Right for you. It is right for you. That's a better way to say it, I think. So, you've came this far, right? Are you still interested in doing spirit work? Is that something you feel is right for you in your craft? For me, growing into what little, experience I've had compared to a lot of people with spirit work, it was a lot like becoming sexually active. It was knowing the risks, protecting yourself, knowing what's safe is and knowing what not safe is, understanding the process, and also recognizing abuse when you see it. What's healthy? What's not healthy? Does it give you a bad feeling? Do you want to do that? Do you want to talk about that? You, as a spirit worker, deserve all the respect and all the autonomy and all the privacy and all the control over your environment and your emotions that you deserve in a relationship. Right? So I'm personally going to keep from this point on comparing bad spirits to abusive boyfriends and good spirits to great relationships and things like that, because that just makes a lot of sense. I always feel like my septum ring is crooked. Like I live in a state, because I have 3 nose piercings, of just looking at somebody and be like, no, I swear I'm not picking my nose. I'm piercings. Here are some stones that I find really useful for spirit work. First of all, I want to suggest peacock ore. Not only is it super beautiful and iridescent and just lovely, I'm sorry about my nails, you guys, it is a great way to focus on the positive. Spirit work can wear you down. I don't know how many, dead children I've talked to, grieving widows, angry fae at the condition of the environment. You're channeling a lot of negativity, so keep your cup full, keep yourself positive. Howlite. This one's great because it's an anti-fear stone, and I've realized a lot of times I'm not scared of what's coming through, I'm scared of what could. So this calms a lot of anxiety. It's really good for mental clarity. Then we have obsidian, which is a great stone for protection. It's very grounding. It's just kind of this responsible, awesome feeling. Very similar malachite, right? Great for protection, great for just keeping it steady. I love it. Then we have moonstone here. I have a bunch of little moonstone chips. Anything associated with the moon's going to come with psychic abilities, unlocking that third eye, and really getting out there. Amethyst is a great stone for psychic perception. I have an amethyst on my handbag, I have an amethyst pendulum I wear around my neck, and then I have several chunks and tumbled raw. Amethyst is just great to have around for any kind of divination or spirit work. And then we have my favorite stone for communicating with spirits, and this is blue argonite. And blue argonite opens channels for communication. It keeps communication positive and healthy, and in more than anything, it helps you understand the message. So this is kind of like putting a long-range antenna on your car or getting satellite radio versus just accepting the frequencies around you. So we have positive, anti-fear, protective, grounding, then, psychic fostering, abilities, communication-based things. So these would be my top stone recommendations for spirit work. It's always time for tea. I do have 5 tips for spirit workers and for people getting into it. And one is be aware. Know what spirit work is. Maybe you're more into divination. Maybe you're more into lucid dreaming. Maybe it's just one specific branch, not spirit work as a whole. Just be aware, know what you're getting into, educate yourself, and be informed just like anything else. Tip 2 is to know yourself and know what normal is for you, because a lot of spirit work is sensing what's different, what's not normal, and kind of reading into that. And to be honest, know your mental health. Spirit work is super shitty on your mental health, let me tell you. Is that real? Did I hallucinate that? Am I bipolar? Is this a symptom of schizophrenia, or is great-grandmama coming through? It will fuck with your head, and be prepared for that. So if you're on any kind of psychotropic medication or mood stabilizer or anything like that, this shit can ruin your life, because you'll start running into questions about your medication, your mental health. So really, maybe take a few months and meditate, or just get to know yourself, get to know what right is to you, what centered is to you, and your state, because you are your most important tool in witchcraft, and your vibration and your energy and your space. Just make sure it's good, because if it's not good, you're not going to do good. Number 3 is 2 parts, prepare and protect. So prepare your space, right? And part of this ties in heavily to protecting yourself. A preparation for spirit work is warding. It's more than, to me, sage and a pentagram and things like that. I'm talking salt your house, put up energy visualization, visualization. Get energy work done. Personally, some of my wards, I take a bay leaf and I draw an eye on it and tape it over every entrance into the house. And I take used Palo Santo with the charred end and I do a mark above every entryway. I use brick salt. I have witch bottles for every member of my family buried. I protect, protect, protect. I also ended up getting blessed with working with a guardian spirit that does kind of like a bodyguard. I don't want to say guard dog because that's kind of demeaning because he's not a dog. He's like super awesome and I love him to death. So that is my recommendation for that. One of the biggest things I can tell you is to have house rules and to never forget that you're in control. They can't do anything without you letting them, in a way. And this isn't to like victim blame, it's to give you ownership and responsibility, because spirit work, it's not just you in your bedroom. Your parents could notice something. Something could start attacking your pets. If something goes wrong and you don't have control or the skills to banish, bind, or, keep it from coming in, your little sister could have nightmares and wake up screaming. Your mom could see an old lady in the fridge. Really be conscious of the fact that you're taking your whole household on this journey, and whatever you're encountering, the potential to expose everyone in your home is there. And so really be responsible with it and don't be flippant and protect yourself. And part of the way to do that is having these house rules. Some of mine is I will not speak to you or work with you, give you any of my energy, or deliver any of your messages if you make a single thing in my house uncomfortable. You do not touch my son. You do not speak to my son. You do not influence my son. As soon as my son gets uncomfortable, everything's out. And you can kind of have a take it or leave it, because if you're working with different spirits and one wants to kind of break the rules, they can police themselves because everyone else is going to say, oh, no, she's doing really good work. I love this. I need this. You're going to stop. So they can kind of do like kids and protect themselves and kind of police themselves in a way. Nothing that lies is going to come through, because don't forget, you're dealing with spirits, which are sentient beings, which can be abusive, they can be fucked up, they can be liars, they can be nasty, they can deceive you, One way to tell if something's trying to deceive you is if they tell you you're the chosen one or the long lost. If it sounds too good to be true, I guarantee you it's not fucking George Washington coming to you. It's something that wants something from you and is trying to trick you to get led into your circle and your energy field, and then shit's gonna go crazy. You are not the chosen one. You are not the archangel in human form. You're not a fucking dragon reincarnated. I mean, maybe you are, but that's for you to decide. Once again, these are just my opinions. If something comes at me saying, you're the lost high priestess of this tribe, fuck you, get out of here. I'm not. But I do past life work, I do ancestor work, and that's something super important to me. Just be aware. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. And they just want to trick you so that you let them in. Also, a great thing to do to kind of associate with your house rules is to do ancestor work and to welcome in those familiar spirits. I like to think of it as an entourage of my family members. I'm a hereditary witch, so I fully believe I have contact with past witches and male witches and healers and people in my hereditary line have worshipped the same goddess. So I have like this entourage of badass women and men that I am so lucky to be related to, and they give me such good advice. It's like having, your grandma from the 1700s on speed dial and having these relationships with so many people that love you and care about you, and it's beautiful. And that is great because they can kick something's ass or give me a heads up or say, I don't trust this thing you're about to start working with. You have total consent, you have total control, make your rules, work with your tools, and you can do this. Number 5 would be banish, bind, and exorcise. It might sound a little bit spoopy or cheesy to use the word exorcise, but an exorcism is getting a spirit out of something. Banishing is making something go away, and binding is stopping something from ever causing harm. usually it's a good idea to just do all three. You can exercise your home. One of my favorite just exorcism things is to put all this positive, happy stuff, chunks of peacock or grapefruit, orange, cinnamon. I have Fruit Loops, fragrant oil, sugar cookie, anything that makes me happy and has these protective correspondences, such as sage shavings that I've burned, or copal incense, or, you know, just anything that's protective or generally used for spirit work that gives me power. I'll put it in a spray bottle and run through the house. I don't want to work with you. Get out, spray every corner. And I've had front doors fly open once I kind of heard it. I work from the back of the house towards an exit or an entryway so that I can chase something out. And then I'm done. You know, it's a breakup. Maybe you've tied something to a vessel and you no longer want to work with that spirit. You can banish the spirit, but the vessel is still in your house. Exorcise the vessel. So really having good banishing, binding, and exorcism routines and rituals and spells for you are just essential, because it's like dating. If you're on Tinder for 3 days, you're going to get a dick pic. If you're a spirit worker for a year, you're going to have something nasty come through. And so it's not an if, it's a when, and it's all about how you handle it. So there you have it. There are my top 5 tips on spirit working, as well as some general information about it versus mediumship, things like that. So keep an eye out for other videos. Tell me some other things you might like. Tell me your stories. Are you a medium? Are you a spirit worker? What do you use? Is it pendulums? Is it whatever? I want to hear from you. I want to get to know you. And as always, go ahead and subscribe. That way you can stay up to date on what I'm doing and drop any ideas for future videos that you want to see. Much love.